Voice TV. Got my man,
LaShon Green, holla at your people.
you know, Voice TV as well. So it's been it's been a minute since I hollered at you, man.
Hot
Been
minute.
kicking it.
Hot minute.
So man, you good?
I'm great, man. Everything's lovely, dog.
Word, man. So, everybody already know when we get together or anything with Voice TV involved, the name speaks for itself, Voice TV. So we like to push that dialogue culture. So we're sitting here, man, and sitting here listening to that Black Panther soundtrack, man.
Black Panther.
I think it's pretty dope. But so what you think about the movie?
First of all, let me pay homage to the soundtrack. Kendrick Lamar doing his thing. I appreciate it. I respect it. Always have. But the movie was a good movie. The cinematography, the videography, like it was dope. There was a lot of concepts in the movie, especially for it to be a Marvel or comic or whatever.
Yeah.
Breaking records, and there was a lot of different concepts in it that have never happened before in that type of movie. So, first of all, we all state the obvious. All black cast. Superstar cast. It's a really good movie, but. Me personally, I have a feeling. I feel like it's a hidden message in it. I feel like there's another message, and why do we have to lose in order to win? You know what I mean? Like my 2 cents is it was a good movie at the end. You have these characters that are really good actors. Give it to them, really good actors. The characters were really good characters, with the exception of us having a villain. You have a villain that just so happens to be black, that even though he's a bad guy, you have to admit that before the movie was over, everybody fell in love with the villain. You know what I mean?
And the villain is, me personally, as a black guy in America, the villain is relatable. You know what I'm saying?
Very much so, because when you think about it, and the reasons that he was doing what he was doing is because he wanted it to be, he wanted to take the, what was it called? The
vibranium.
The vibranium. He wanted to use the vibranium to kind of help the world. You know what I mean? That's what he was saying. But I think because he had been beat up and he had seen so much and he had been through so much, that it was hard for him to do it in a positive way. So all he knew was rah. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I feel like he took that mentality and tried to do something good with it. But when you come off a certain way, it's hard to see the good in what you're trying to do. You know what I mean? Like the king, and then you have the king, you gotta respect him trying to support and keep everything in his environment and his culture, because that's where it all started. They had a culture, they had a way of life. He's trying to still continue to make sure that way of life was successful and prosperous. And then, I think when it was all said and done, why do we have to lose in order to win? So I felt like they could have collaborated and figured out how to make it work the appropriate way. And if I forget his name, Michael B. Jordan, whatever his character was, Killmonger. If they would have had more time together, right? I think that closer to the end, I think they started to realize and appreciate and understand each other. But again, he had to die in order for that to happen. Like, why couldn't they just make peace? That's family. You know what I mean? They were family. Like why do we have to be portrayed as losing something in order to win something? Could you imagine? So what happened and what transpired throughout the whole movie? It was great. I think at the end you figure out, okay, yeah, the people of Wakanda, my bad, y'all. The people of Wakanda, they finally started realizing, okay, you know what? Yeah, maybe we can make the world a better place. But why did it take somebody to die that just so happens to be black in order for that to happen and for that realization and for that epiphany to occur? Why did we have to lose someone? Because again, we all fell in love with him, even though he was a bad guy, and it's unfortunate that he died. But he was so hard with it, because even when he was dying, he was like, yo, nah, man, I'm good. We can still save you. Nah, no need to save me, because I know what the world is like. I've been out there. I don't want to see it. And I think the reason that he said, nah, just go ahead and let's do this, is because he still didn't get to see the epiphany that the king had. So he died thinking that shit was still going to be fucked up, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think, man, because he was talking about he'd rather, be pretty much thrown over in the ocean with the rest of his ancestors, because they know it's better to be dead to be living in bondage, pretty much.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
I'd rather jump off the motherfucking ship. I'd rather jump off the ship than to go and be somebody's slave for the rest of my life.
Right, man. And it's like, man, it's so many different parallels that I took from the movie. I saw it twice. I'm gonna go see it again, man. But it's a lot, man. Like I took a lot from it, man. I think we could talk on forever about the jump. But I mean, specifically, I guess we could just talk about what you were saying, though. You know, like why does it take someone to lose, pretty much to win, in essence, right?
Yeah.
Man, and it's almost like it seems as though it took like a person to be so extreme for you to pretty much shock the system. You see what I'm saying? It's like as human beings and stuff, man, we're so conditioned to go along with the quote unquote norm that it takes something way out, left field for us to realize, like, yo, you know what, that kind of makes sense, man. I ain't think of it that way.
Yep.
So maybe that was a role that Killmonger, played, and he had to be that extreme just to get it, to break it into their thought process.
Yeah, I get it.
But I get what you're saying too.
He
like,
was extreme, you know what I'm
right.
saying? And his presence was felt. But again, death does not have to equal you being extreme to get your point across. You know what I'm saying? Why do you have to die? Like, he was extreme. It was cool.
Man.
Doing his thing. Like, it was a good movie. A lot of good in it. Like, it was cool. Could have been a little bit more action, but it was still good. Shout out to my girl LaShon. She crushed it. She crushed it, yo. She crushed it, yo. But I don't know, man. Like, I just feel like there's always like a message, and I feel like every time we have a good movie to really portray some things that we're going through, like, there's always a message that says, you know what, we will let you know that it's all good. You know, you can have your hope, you can have your dreams, you can have your progression, but at the end of the day, when it's all said and done, we got this. We do this. We run this. And that's how I felt. I'm gonna go back and a little bit in retrospect. All right, when you think about the birth of a nation, right? The birth of a nation, Nat Turner, like, everybody knows the story. Maybe not all the details, but you hear stuff, you read books, whatever. So when that movie came out, and you remember the scene, like, right at the end, where they were like, they had their backs against the wall, they ran out of ammo and all of that, and they was just sitting there and it faded out, the movie should have went off. Why do we have to then show the man getting hung? Why do we have to do that? Like, that could have just played out. I think it's a bigger meaning than that, and it goes to show that, like, you can get happy, and you can see all of the prosperity, and you can see us about to rise above. But when it's all said and done, we have a grip on that. We have a grip on that, and it ain't never gonna be that happy ending for you. And that's how I take it. In that movie, it's not gonna be a happy ending. In Black Panther, it's not gonna be a happy ending. So just so you know, you can have that hope. You can cling on to it. You can taste it on your fingertips. But you're never gonna get there if we don't want you to get there. That's how I took it.
Yeah. So, I mean, I definitely see what you're saying. So you think, like, because if you look at it, right, no matter how strong you are as an individual, so I guess in essence, when we look at reality right now, Killmonger represents the strong alpha black male that's ready to do whatever, voice his opinion, for his cause, do whatever, right? But at the end of the day, you think that symbolizes him dying, and that symbolizing, at the end of the day, you can do all that, but either we gonna kill you or we gonna get your own to kill you.
Exactly. That's exactly
I.e.
how I feel.
Malcolm X. You see what I'm saying? Something
exactly
like that.
How I feel.
Okay.
That's exactly how I feel, and it's unfortunate, but at the same time, like, I really believe in faith. I really believe in hope. Like, you gotta cling on to something, because that's how it's portrayed in a movie. I mean, the reality of it is that it is reality. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if you don't cling on to hope, and if you don't keep pushing and persevering, then what's our purpose anyway? You know what I mean? Like, what's your purpose? Well, you're just not even gonna try because you keep getting shit put in your face all the time that says, up, that was awesome, but not good enough. Oh, okay, you know what? We're gonna give you this promotion. But the reason we're gonna give you this promotion is because we're trying to increase the diversity in our organization, because in order for us to get an IPO, or in order for us to be high up on the stock market, in order for us to get the type of funding and the type of shareholders that we need to be more profitable, then we need more culture and diversity in our organization. And like it all, to me, that all goes back to the same concept of that movie. Like, yo, you can do it, you can make progress, you can be good, you can be likable at work, you can be you can be a boss, you can be a manager, you can be a director, you can even be a VP. And in some cases, very, very, very small cases, you can be a owner, a CEO of a Fortune 500 company or whatever. But at the same time, I feel like you get pigeonholed simply because of who you are, what you look like, et cetera, et cetera. And then it's not just a black thing, you know what I mean? It's a minority thing. It's a women's thing, you know what I mean? Like, there's so many women that don't get an opportunity to be CEOs and be VPs simply because they're women. And even though we might somewhat be oblivious to it because we go about our own life and we don't want to see that, we don't want to think about that, so we sometimes tend to think that, oh, the reason that she hasn't done this or he hasn't done this, a black minority, he hasn't done this, is because he or she isn't good enough. And the bottom line is, you're more than good enough. You're great. However, if that opportunity doesn't present itself simply because of limitations based on whatever it is, because when you think about it, somebody else higher up always has to make those decisions. And if they feel like, the whole cronyism, we talk about cronyism for a second, like when you think about it, 80% of every corporate organization, there's a white male that runs it or is responsible for making all the decisions for the whole organization. If they feel like, they are intimidated or they just have a mindset because that's how they grew up in Southwest Virginia or whatever it may be, right? Then what they're going to do is, even though you're more qualified, they're going to tap into that cronyism, and they're going to get their boys from high school, their boys from college, their college chums, or their family members or whatever it is. But I can keep rambling and ranting, but
that's real. And we're not gonna keep it too long, but just having a little dialogue to have people think. Even me, like anytime I talk to him, I'm learning something. And the dope thing too about the movie, when you talk about women not receiving those opportunities, was just the strength that they showed, they portrayed those black women in the movie, man. Like I've always said, man, women are the strongest creatures on this earth, man, for real. And man, and for them to be portrayed like that in such a blockbuster film is just amazing, man, because they should be appreciated like that and hosted up like that, man. And you don't see it often. You see what I'm saying, man? So, and not only that, man, before I sign off, man, before we sign off, man, it's just, we talking about, you said it's cronyism? Cronyism and stuff like that.
Look it up. That shit exists, y'all. Cronyism.
So look that up.
And it exists in a predominantly, I hate to say it, but it's the reality of it. No, we're not racist. We're just real. Not racist, but real. We need to come up with a podcast, not racist, but real. That'd be dope. But yeah, that cronyism exists, and unfortunately, it's predominantly in upper class white society, man. Like, and it's real. It's true. I try not to get too deep into that because a lot of times it'll make you depressed. It'll make you feel defeated, and it'll make you just go to your job every day, get the best you can in your current position, and not even thinking about pursuing anything more simply because you already feel like the odds are stacked against you. But when it's all said and done, everybody on this earth, black, white, male, female, Asian, whatever it may be, all of us, we have already won. We're already winners because you know what it takes to make a life. You know how many other people wanted to make it and be born. You made it. You made it out. And you had a lot of competition before you came out. You better believe it. So we already won when we were born. Now we just have to figure out how to maneuver through this thing called life, even when the odds are stacked against you from the beginning. But just always remember, we already won because we made it. We fought hard to get where we are. All of us, male, female. It was a few more people in there, that wanted to get out and wanted to ferment and all of that. I think that's the right word. But anyway, You did it, we did it, and kudos to everybody that's listening because we already won. We just have to, because of the socialism, and because of just our circumstances, and because of the way that the world is operating right now, especially in the U.S. Like, it makes us think that we have lost, and we get down, on ourselves, but we all already won. Man. I mean, that's my take on this whole thing called life. We all winners as soon as we come out. Bam. Yeah. As soon as we started forming, we was already winners. We just got to figure out how to be winners in this thing that has manipulated us to think, to let us think, to allow us to think, or make us think, or again, manipulate us to think that we're losers, man. It's not about that material shit. It's all about being happy. And I will tell you one last thing, and I'm gonna shut up. Success doesn't equal happiness. Happiness equals success. LaShon Green, Voice TV.
That's real. And my last little 2 cents, man, is when we talk about cronyism and stuff like that, and just gotta understand that, we've been talking about Black Panther and stuff. So, if you look at the success of Black Panther and stuff, that shows you the power that we can have. You know what I'm saying? So, if you don't want to have cronyism be a part of your life, affect your life, I think, we can start our own thing too. Just empower yourself, and so you can't get fired from a company if you are the company. You see what I'm saying? I don't know, that's just me. But hey, as always, we appreciate the support. Have these conversations. The whole purpose of this is to get people back to having dialogue, because I feel as though with technology and everything, people aren't really having conversations, or they dismissive conversations. So you don't get past anything or rectify anything without having that dialogue. So that's what we're doing. As always, man, peace, love, and blessings. We out here, peace. KT right here, Sean Green right here. We signing out, man. Peace.
PT.